Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JC Courtside, coming at you today on Friday, March 27th. I know most of you guys don't know, but I am a little bit late to our live stream. You guys know we start at 9 a.m. It's currently 9:03. But podcast listeners, you guys have no idea because you are seeing this all at once, not live after the fact, right? I was just raging about my my adult rec league, right? A lot of stuff has been happening in my adult rec league. A lot of drama has been happening. So, you know, the NBA's got some drama. My adult rec league's got some drama as well. If you guys want to hear more about it, you guys already know where to go. Twitch stream. Y'all already know. All right, guys, today's episode is going to be very, very fun. I noticed that a lot of you guys loved the Would You Rather segment from a couple days ago, right? So we're doing it again. And then on top of that, we're also going to be doing, we're going to be breaking down the games from last night. I apologize. I just got a big text from the Rec League group chat. And you know what? I'm excited to respond to this as soon as this podcast is over, but we are a professional show and I'm not going to be on my phone during it. Apparently there was a Shams tweet that just got put out and I have no idea what it was. Let me go check it real quick just to see if it was important or not. The NBA presented 3 comprehensive anti-tanking concepts to its board of governors on Wednesday, with modifications expected to each before a formal vote in May. 18 teams in the draft lottery, seeds 7 through 15 in each conference. Flattened odds with bottom 10. Sorry, the tweet cut off. With bottom 10 teams having an 8% chance, the remaining 20% odds distributed in decreasing order for 11 through 18, and a lottery drawing for all 18 picks. 22 teams, these are 3 opportunities. Okay, so that's the first one. This is the next one. 22 teams in lottery using 2-year record seeds, 7 through 15, plus the 4 playoff first-round exits in both conferences. Lottery teams would reach a minimum win total floor in each season, such as 25 wins. If a team falls short of the floor, it gets slotted to meet the floor. Top 4 drawn as part of a lottery, as is currently. And then the third option is 18 teams in a 5x5 lottery. Bottom 5 teams have equal odds for top pick. Okay, this is stupid. This is dumb. This is stupid. Everybody go ahead and blame the process for this BS. We're going through all of these anti-tanking bullshit policies because of the Philadelphia 76ers, and I won't be told otherwise. They have done irreversible damage to the sport as we know it, and I'm just not going to read any more of this. I'm sorry. I don't know. Do you guys understand most of this? I feel like this is very, very confusing. It's sort of like when I have to explain what the in-season tournament is to my casual friends, as well as the play-in tournament. I got to explain all of this stuff to my casual NBA fans, and they don't understand any of it. So I'm all for making this NBA season as simple as possible, because once you start overcomplicating everything, people start to lose interest. So Adam Silver, please just revert it, man. Just revert it. Just absolutely revert it. All right. So I guess we may as well just get this podcast started with, yeah? Let's just get this podcast started with. Guys, up first, I wanted to talk about personally my favorite game from last night, and that was the Charlotte Hornets. Buzz, 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 buzz. The hive is buzzing. Hornets effortlessly topple the New York Knicks, 114-103. Okay? Now, this game was a fun watch. If you guys watched this one, the first quarter in particular was insane. You have Jalen Brunson going for 17 points for the Knicks in the first quarter alone, and then only scoring 2 points in the second quarter. But that first quarter, LaMelo was hitting some deep bombs. Con Knips was getting hot. Brandon Miller was doing things. Moussa Diabate was bringing energy. I think my favorite stat line in this game is Moussa Diabate. Big Moose only had 2 points, but he had 5 rebounds, 2 of them offensive, and he had arguably my favorite play of the entire night. There was a play, I think it was in the fourth quarter, but Brandon Miller was driving to the hoop, kicked it out to LaMelo Ball in the corner. LaMelo went for a pump fake, and as he's like falling down because he was on a pump fake on one foot, he threw a hard lob pass to Grant Williams, and Grant Williams caught the ball midair by the hoop and sort of threw it over his shoulder back to Moussa Diabate, and he just yams that thing down. The Hornets are a fun watch a very fun watch. And last night, man, when they're hitting their threes, they're unbeatable. Fortunately for the Knicks, that was like their worst three-point shooting game, and I don't know how long. They only had 16 threes. And when I say only, I mean only, because literally earlier in the week, the Charlotte Hornets dropped 26 threes. 26. So if they're only hitting 16 against you, man, that's all you need. And right off rip, I want to just point something out about the New York Knicks. There was no heart. Josh Hart was playing, but nobody was playing with heart last night. Nobody was trying. Nobody was taking them serious. It didn't look like the Knicks actually wanted to be there. Somebody tweeted a couple weeks ago, not tweeting until Mikal Bridges gets 15 points. Mikal Bridges, for three straight games, has had 14 points total. You can't make that up. You can't. OG Anunoby had a brilliant game. He had 5 threes go down last night. He had 17 points, 6 for 10 from the field. Cat was a nothing burger last night. If you watch this game, Cat had 13 points and 3 rebounds. He was a minus 18 on the court. He was a nothing burger. He was not doing anything beneficial to this basketball team whatsoever. Any minute he was on the court, they were losing it. And then Jalen Brunson, he went 10 for 23, 0 for 6 from 3, 0 for 6 from 3, 26 points, 13 assists, which I love seeing. But my God, man, this is not looking good. That's how bad Cat was. 22 minutes. That's how bad he was. And then off their bench, Mitchell Robinson gave you effort and nobody else really did. It's sad to me because I'm noticing that Jose Alvarado might fall out of the lineup. He might fall out of the rotation for this team. It seems like Mike Brown prefers Jordan Clarkson now. I never thought I'd see the day, but Jose Alvarado might lose all his minutes and fall out of the rotation entirely come playoff time. He's getting less and less minutes every single game. Less and less minutes every single game because of Jordan Clarkson. So my ultimate recommendation for Knicks is you got to get Mikal Bridges going. I mean, 12 shots, that's a lot of shots for Mikal Bridges. And you're shooting 50%, that's not bad. But only finishing with 14 points, like here's the thing. If you get 14 from Mikal Bridges, 17 from OG Anunoby, and then knowing that you're going to get 25 to 30 from Brunson, you should go into all of these games expecting a big time win. You should. But when Karl Anthony Towns is only bringing you 13 and 3, pack it up. Pack it up. You're not going to win a basketball game, especially against a competent team like the Charlotte Hornets. Plain and simple, man. Draco, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you a lot, baby. Thank you. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch. They weren't really playing defense for the first 3 quarters. But in the fourth quarter, they really started to step shit up. They outscored the Hornets by 7, but it was too late. At that point, they fell behind in the second and third quarter. So with the Charlotte Hornets, there are a lot of statistics that I can bring to y'all. But I think the most important one is that since January 1st, they are number 1 in net rating. That's why they're a problem. They're number 1 in net rating. They're number 4 in defensive rating. And they're number 1 in offense since January 1st, right? This is going to be a very, very interesting team for the years to come. But I think the biggest detail about this is that LaMelo Ball's been hooping lately. He's been hooping over his last 5 games. He's averaging 24 points per game, over 7 assists, over 5 rebounds, almost 2 steals per game, shooting damn near 50% from the field and 43% from 3. LaMelo Ball's been hooping lately. He really has. And I understand people are just coming into the Twitch and saying the Knicks suck and blah, blah, blah. We understand that. The Hornets are going to make any first round series, if they get it out of the play-in, they're going to give any team hell in the playoffs. And the most important thing is because this team, yes, they're spamming threes, but at the same time, the most important thing about this team is that their offense is fluid. Everybody has a role. Everybody knows what they're doing. They're running a clear-cut motion offense with 4 guys being all potential threats at the 3. I'm telling y'all, man, when I watch the Hornets play, it looks like a well-oiled machine. Now, they're a young, well-oiled machine, but at the same time, they remind me a lot about the Pistons last year and how they gave the Knicks hell in the first round and that the series could have went either way. Either way, they all came down to single possession wins. That series could have went either way. And now we're looking at the Charlotte Hornets. And, I understand what this man who came to the Twitch stream, he's just hating on the Hornets and hating on the Knicks and blah, 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 saying they ain't a threat. Some basketball fans need to learn to just enjoy basketball once in a while, because I'm not saying the Charlotte Hornets are going to win the championship this year, okay? Don't confuse this, all right? But me calling them a serious problem means that they can pose a threat to make any series interesting. Any series interesting. And is that not what basketball is all about? All we want to watch are competitive series, right? I can't tell y'all how many 1 to 8 seeds we've played or 2 to 7 seeds that are sweeps. I don't want a sweep. And with the Hornets, you're probably not going to get a sweep. This is fun. Nobody should be rooting against the Charlotte Hornets. You should be rooting for this team unless your team's against their team. They're fun, man. They're a fun team. I think they can take 2 off of the Celtics. I think they can take 2 off of the Pistons. I think they can take 2 off the Knicks. This is going to be very, very exciting. I think it's going to be very, very fun. And I think all of us, especially this man who just said he's a Spurs fan coming into the Twitch, I think you should always be rooting for the young teams, because you guys are a young team. The Spurs have 0 experience. The Hornets have 0 experience. Well, I guess aside from a couple of vets like Luke Cornett and Harrison Barnes and whatnot, I think the Hornets are going to pose a major threat to whoever they verse in the playoffs. I think they're going to take a couple games off. Yeah, that's a great comparison, Mob. They remind me of they remind you of the Rockets before that you traded for Jalen Green. I agree. I full-heartedly agree, as well as the Pistons from last year. They got nothing to lose, and they're going to leave it all out on the floor. I think they're a lot of fun, man. And on top of all of that, yes, they spam threes, but at the same time, they don't have to. They have Moussa Diabate down low. They have Miles Bridges who can get it down low. And one thing I'll say about the Knicks that I was not a fan of last night, and Knicks fans, you guys can probably agree with me. I think the worst, it can't happen. The Knicks aren't going to play the Hornets. It's not going to happen unless they get to the 6th seed, and then the Knicks would play them. Ooh, that would be interesting, because here's what I have to say, everybody. Knicks fans, and I hope you guys are listening the loudest out of anybody. You guys have nobody to guard LaMelo Ball. You guys will be in trouble, just like how you were last night. I don't know if Knicks fans, you guys pointed it out. I don't know if you guys saw it, but you guys were using Jalen Brunson to guard Miles Bridges. I'm sure Knicks fans saw that and said, like, dude, what am I watching? Right? He can't guard Khan. He's not big enough. He can't guard LaMelo. He's not big enough. He can't guard Brandon Miller. He's not big enough. They were abusing Brunson genuinely. They were. And every time Miles Bridges, because they were doing it, especially in the third quarter, they were spamming this play. They would post up Miles Bridges on Jalen Brunson, and then they'd be forced to double team. What does double teaming, what is the repercussions of double teaming, ladies and gentlemen? What are the repercussions of double teaming? Somebody's going to be open. And that's how they were getting all their open threes last night. That's how. So the Jalen Brunson defense, it's posed a very, very big hole in this team. The Knicks fans all know Karl-Anthony Towns is going to play defense, but now you're looking at Jalen Brunson, who is the worst defending point guard in the NBA, arguably the worst defender in the entire league right now, right? So this is what's going to happen in the playoffs if they verse them in the first round. And Knicks fans should be praying that they don't play the Hornets in the first round, because in case you guys don't know, the Knicks are the slowest team in the NBA. Offensively, they're the slowest team in the NBA. The Hornets are one of the fastest. I think what I saw Charles Lee do last night in continuing to attack Jalen Brunson is what's going to happen to Brunson a lot in the playoffs. It's going to happen a lot. Whether it's the Celtics doing it to them, whether it's the Pistons doing it to them, whether it's the Cavs, the Hornets, the whoever, they're going to continue attacking Jalen Brunson. And when Jalen Brunson gets exhausted on defense for trying, well, the entire team looks at him as the leader. So when you see Karl-Anthony Towns not be involved whatsoever, this team is not destined to win anything. The only way the New York Knicks can win a championship, the only way, is if Karl-Anthony Towns plays like that true number 2. That's the only way. There's no other way this team can win. Karl-Anthony Towns has to be that 25-10 guy in the playoffs. If he's not, then they'll go as far as only as Brunson takes them. That's the only way. I've talked about this a lot, and I know it's just one game, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's just one game, so I'm not saying the Knicks suck. the Knicks are horrible. But what I am saying is something I've said all year long. Without Cat being that true number 2, this team can't go anywhere. They can't. As far as the Hornets go, very fun team. They did their thing yesterday. They've been doing their thing since January 1st. And I'm very excited to see this team develop, man. You have Kobe White coming off of the bench, dropping 17 points. Ryan Kalkbrenner doing whatever the hell he wants as a big man. Con Knipple had 26 points last night. 9 for 14 from the field, 6 for 10 from deep. And Miles Bridges was cooking Jalen Brunson all night long. And then that final dunk, you guys saw it. I know Miles Bridges must have hurt his significant other. That I will never root for that man. I don't talk about that man. I refuse to talk about Miles Bridges. But that dunk that he had at the end of that game was nasty as you know. LaMelo, 22 points. Brandon Miller with 21 points. Everybody shot efficiently. But their offense really wasn't buzzing the way it normally does. Their defense is what won them this game. And yeah, man, that's really all I have to say about this game. Guys, let's go ahead and move on. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the rest of these 2 games because there were only 3 games last night since March Madness, right? But let's go ahead and talk about them a little bit. Up first, I have the Pistons routing the Pelicans 129-108. They beat them by 21 points. Now, I would like to point out to everyone, on the injury report yesterday, all the starters for the Pistons were on it, as well as their first 4 guys off their bench. Ultimately, some of them did play. The starting lineup for the Pistons was Dennis Jenkins, newly acquired Kevin Huerter, Asar Thompson, Tobias Harris, and Jalen Duren. And this is what I wanted. Kevin Huerter, every single game, has been playing more and more and more and more. And the reason why he's been playing more and more and more and more is because of injuries, yes. But mostly because JB Bickerstaff knows that he needs some bench scoring. And he wasn't getting that with Karis LeVert. He wasn't getting that with Marcus Sasser. He wasn't getting that with Javonte Green or anybody else off the bench, right? So when we traded for Kevin Huerter, he initially couldn't crack the rotation. But over the last couple of weeks, he's been playing more and more off the bench. And I think Kevin Huerter genuinely could be the X factor for the Detroit Pistons going into the playoffs. Genuinely. Last night, he had 22 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was a plus 21 on the court. And my favorite thing about Kevin Huerter is that throughout this time the Pistons got him, he couldn't shoot threes. His one thing, like we thought we got him for 3-point shooting. He couldn't knock down his threes, but he was doing everything else beautifully. He was doing everything beautifully. He was getting to the hoop beautifully. He was setting people up. I didn't know Kevin Huerter's playmaking was that elite. And he was doing all of that with minimal minutes off the bench, and he gets more and more and more minutes. Now, last night, Kevin Huerter's 3-point shooting came back. Kevin Huerter shot 4 for 7 from deep, and he was 9 for 14 for the game. I'll go ahead and say it. Last night, Kevin Huerter's game was better than any game I've seen Duncan Robinson all year long. Offensively, defensively, Kevin Huerter is a better basketball player than Duncan Robinson. Kevin Huerter has a respected whistle from the referees, meaning every time he touches somebody, they don't call a foul because Kevin Huerter actually has a defensive reputation in this NBA. Kevin Huerter is a better playmaker than Duncan Robinson. Kevin Huerter is a better defender than Duncan Robinson. Kevin Huerter is better at scoring off the dribble than Duncan Robinson. He's a better finisher than Duncan Robinson. The only thing he doesn't do better than Duncan Robinson is what Duncan Robinson does best, and that's shoot threes. Now, I would love to see Kevin Huerter start because the Pistons have always been great by defense. And unfortunately, the Pistons have to play Duncan Robinson as much as they do because they need to stretch the floor. If the Pistons don't stretch the floor, then they can't get into the paint and do what they get paid to do, and that's bully you in the paint. Kevin Huerter, honestly, his contract expires this summer. I would love to bring him back onto the team. I would love Kevin Huerter to return to the team because the only thing that's missing from Kevin Huerter is his 3-point shooting. And last night, he had his 3-point shot. There was a step back 3 that he got off a DHO play with, I think it was Tobias Harris. And he just stepped backs and coops that thing over Zion Williamson, I think. Huerter was a beast last night. And speaking of beasts, how about we talk about the man in the middle, Jalen Duren. 30 points in 31 minutes, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, damn near a triple-double. He had 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 10 for 12 from the field. The Pelicans don't have an answer. Most teams don't have an answer for Jalen Duren. He's too big. He's too strong. And when he tries, he's arguably the most unstoppable center when he gets the ball in his hands 5 feet away from the basket. And last night, he decided to pull out a move that he does often, but for some reason last night it went viral. He got the ball and did a little hezzy tween on DeAndre Jordan's old ass. And he's been doing this all year, and it hasn't been going viral. He does this almost every game where he just scores off the dribble. Now, this makes me excited as a Pistons fan to see Jalen Duren play as well as he is, but it makes me scared about the contract that we're going to be obligated to give him. Because if he's an all-NBA player, his contract extension will jump up to $288 million. If you give this man $288 million, I might cry myself to sleep. Now, my last point for the Pistons, Ausar Thompson, he made DeJounte Murray look like a rookie. Well, he made him look like a two-way rookie all last night. DeJounte Murray couldn't do a single thing last night with Ausar Thompson guarding him. Ausar Thompson should be on an all-defensive team. In fact, he should be on a first-team all-defensive team. He's shattering every single defensive record as a wing in NBA history. What he does in the limited amount of minutes that he gets by our coach, it's unreal. Ausar Thompson is, in my opinion, the best perimeter defender in the NBA, and it's not even close. I think the next closest person is Amen, his twin brother. He is that good at defense, and he honestly was giving DeJounte Murray hell last night. And that's the way the Pistons have been rolling this season. I would also like to shout out the Pistons fans, because this goes out and says how real the Pistons fans in this world are. The Pistons, in their best year since 2008, are now number 3 in attendance this season. I'd like you to pay attention to this graph right here. The Chicago Bulls are number 1 in highest attendance. My Bulls fans, if you're ever wondering why you guys have been ass for so long, that's why. That's why. You guys will continue being ass until you guys stop going to the damn games, man. They don't care. They're making their money. And then on top of that, the Miami Heat as well. That honestly surprises me. That surprises me. That one really, really surprised me. The fact that the Heat are number 2, and people always say the Heat fans don't show up until the second quarter, and then they leave in the third quarter. That surprises me. The Heat being number 2. But yeah, I think we all understand why the Bulls have been stuck in mediocrity for so long, because fans continue going to the games. The Knicks, like the Pistons, have more attendance than the 76ers, the Cavs, and the Knicks. That's insane. That's genuinely insane. That's crazy. And then I guess my last note on the Pistons is there's a consensus going around the state of Michigan right now, and it's pretty clear. Everyone is saying that number 8 should never see the floor again. I think we're all understanding who number 8 is. Now, number 8 was injured last night, and I pray to God Almighty that number 8 continues to stay out and take his time with his injury, because we want him to be 100% good to go when, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we want him to be 100% good to go. Sit out for the rest of the season, because I never want to see Karis LeVert play another Pistons game for the rest of my life. I can't. When you have a guy off your bench coming in off a DHO and doing this on Sadiq Bey, and you're trying to tell me that Karis LeVert, who dribbles off his leg every time he touches the ball and throws up brick after brick after brick and has a bottom 3 in the NBA in plus minus this season, if you think that he deserves to play a game, play any minutes for this team, then you got another thing coming. The Pistons were down by 21 against the Atlanta Hawks 2 nights ago. They were down by 21. Karis LeVert was a minus 21 in the game. You can't make that up. I'd like to give a couple shout outs for the Pelicans. Sadiq Bey, I miss you, baby. I miss you so much, Sadiq. You would be perfect for us, for our starting 4. I miss you, Sadiq. 17 points, 7 for 15. Hit some big shots. He led the comeback in the third quarter. Herb Jones had a decent game last night. Zion Williamson, still unstoppable. Still. And I think I learned something last night. And Liam, my number 1 Pelicans fan, he probably noticed something interesting as well, chat. As good as a defender as Ausar Thompson is, and like I said, number 1 perimeter defender in the entire NBA. I think there's only one guy that Asar Thompson can't guard in the NBA. That's Zion Williamson. He was pushing Asar around. And I am man enough to admit that Asar Thompson is not strong enough to defend a Zion Williamson on the perimeter. He's not. He drives into him and he just moves Asar out of the way. And speaking of, Asar still had 3 steals and 2 blocks last night. 3 steals and 2 blocks. A wing doing that. Asar Thompson in the last 3 games has, I think, 15 steals. Yeah, Kawhi Leonard, but nobody can guard Kawhi Leonard, TikTok. Nobody can guard that guy. Yeah, and DeJounte Murray was living in hell. He had 5 turnovers, courtesy of Asar Thompson. And yeah, the biggest issue about the Pelicans is that they don't have anybody to guard a big, you know, like in Jalen Duren. They don't have anybody. So they were just playing fast. DeAndre Jordan couldn't keep up with Jalen Duren. Derek Queen couldn't, oh my God, he could not touch Jalen Duren without getting flung across the court. Missy couldn't touch anybody. But yeah, shout out Jeremiah Fears. He was I hope Liam could check out the Pistons broadcast at some point from last night, because Greg Kelser and George Blaha were giving your guys his flowers nonstop throughout the game. They both went to Michigan State. They were both hyping up Jeremiah's brother, Jeremy Fears, for Michigan State. They're both hyping up Zion Williamson. Greg was oozing over Zion Williamson and Sadiq Bey. I think my 2 favorite commentators in the NBA are the Pistons and the Pelicans. Yes, biasy helps with the Pistons, but because we've been so asked for so long, we appreciate other talent. They have to condition themselves talking highly of other teams. And the Pelicans, that's something they've had to do since they were inaugurated into the NBA. Since their team hasn't been the best, they've been accustomed to talking highly of other teams. Those are my 2 favorite broadcasts. Honestly, I low-key watch Pelicans games just so I can listen to their commentators. Like, basketball aside, like, it's genuinely so cool listening to them. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this game. Good for the Pistons. Oh, by the way, if the Pistons hit double-digit threes, you're not going to win the basketball game. It could be 10 for all I care. The Pistons could hit 10 threes for all I care. If they hit double digits, you're not going to beat them in basketball. They hit 15 last night. GG's. I don't care who it's against. If the Pistons hit 15 threes, you're not going to beat them. You're not. It's just not going to happen. I am going to end the TikTok very, very quickly. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I'm going to end the TikTok right now, and we're going to continue the rest of the show because we are only halfway. We're only halfway, y'all. We got a good show coming up. All right? I'm ending the TikTok. Come through to the Twitch. My last game, I don't have much to say because even the team that won wasn't happy about the win. I don't know if you guys saw the viral clips of people in the, I forgot what the arena's called in Orlando. Is it the Kia Center now? I forgot what it's called. The arena was empty. I saw everyone tweeting about the Magic and talking about how their arena's empty. Nobody cares about the team anymore. And it was against the Kings. So I wouldn't be too upset about being empty against the Kings. They're the worst team in the NBA, so I wouldn't be too upset about that. But what I will say is the Orlando Magic had 2 times the amount of free throws. 2 times the amount of free throws than the Sacramento Kings. They had 32 to the Kings 16. Now, Magic fans aren't happy about this win. They're not happy about this win. In fact, all Magic Twitter, because I am on the Magic side of Twitter, none of them were happy about this game. None of them. They got the win, and they don't care. This was an ugly win. They tried choking it. They tried, and they almost did. Paolo, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. He's been on fire lately, to be honest. He's been torching the bad teams. He's been averaging, believe it or not, Paolo Banchero's been averaging 10 free throws a game for his last 20 games. That's insane. Desmond Bane is doing Desmond Bane things. Jalen Suggs hit a big 3 at the end of the game that sort of put the Kings away. Listen, man, Jamal Cain's a hooper. I think they should be playing him way more. The Magic are, it's tough. It's tough watching this team because as much as I want them to succeed and do well, it's truly exhausting watching this team and hearing the fans on Twitter, because I know what it's like to have expectations for something and be let down. But the fact that you needed to, they weren't trying, man. Their body language was bad. Can I just show you guys something very important? Okay. Very, very important. The Magic won this game because their offense was offensing, right? But they got out hustled in every single metric that mattered. Okay. They only got one more rebound than the Kings. They got out rebounded on the offensive glass. They got out assisted 30-22. The Kings got 7 steals to the Magic's 2. The Kings got 3 blocks to the Magic's 2 blocks. The Kings had less turnovers. The Kings had 4 times the amount of fast break points. The Kings had more points in the paint than the Magic did. The Kings had more second chance points than the Magic did. Had they not called so many fouls for the Kings, for the Magic, then we'd be looking at this game very differently. The Kings very well could have won this game. So they got out-efforted on every which way of this game, and the Magic still somehow clung to the win. So Magic fans, yeah, the win is fine, but you got out-hustled in every metric. Every metric. DeMar DeRozan also had 33 points. Maxine had 10, Precious Achiuwa 14. And then you had Daquan Plowden, who I've been watching a lot of this year just because I've been tuning into a lot of Kings games. Daquan Plowden had 23 points off the bench. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Yeah. Oh my God, I just noticed DeMar DeRozan had 33 points, 11 assists, and 6 rebounds. Damn. Yeah, Magic really let DeMar DeRozan have his best game of his season. Wow. Okay, damn. Okay, guys. I know today's a little bit quieter of a live crew. I know today's a little quieter of a stream than we normally run here. And I would like to say I appreciate everybody for tuning in, live crew and podcast crew. So podcast crew, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. TikTok, Twitch, yeah, guys, just, be here. I appreciate all y'all being here. This is how Fridays are, chat. This is how Fridays are. Fridays are always quieter than every other stream throughout the week. It's so funny because like Monday's the most popping, Tuesday's popping, Wednesday's popping, Thursday's popping, and then it hits Friday, and we typically get half the crowd because everybody's just busy getting their weekends ready. You know what I mean? Everybody's cramming work that they delayed all week long. Everybody's going out for the weekends. Everybody's doing this and that. But I do appreciate you real ones for hanging out on a Friday. I appreciate y'all, man. Now, for those of you that are here, you are being awarded by being here because I have prepared such a fun segment for y'all. Okay, we're going to do a little game of Would You Rather, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, would you rather, okay? Let's start with this one. Who would you guys rather have? Player A or player B? Oh, did I fuck up? Hold on, shit. No, I didn't. Who would you guys rather have? Player A or player B? Player A averages 20 points per game, 9.8 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game, shooting 44% from the field, 31% from 3. Or player B, who averages 24.2 points per game, 7.1 rebounds, 3 assists per game, 46% from the field, and 36.3% from 3. I see one person say A, and then all the rest B. Very interesting. Very, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very interesting. I see 2 A's, and I see all the rest B. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. So can I ask you guys why you're picking player B? Looks like, yeah, more points and better efficiency. Interesting. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, these players are polar opposites. I'll give it away a little bit. Player A is a big man. Player B is a wing. They're both on bad teams. Okay? And yeah, I'm curious. Again, player A stats, 20 points per game. If you guys want, actually, I'm not going to repeat myself again. TikTok, if you guys want to see it, it's on the screen of the Twitch stream. It's on the screen on the Twitch stream. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that said player A, you chose Bam Adebayo. Those are his season averages. For player B, Michael Porter Jr. of the Brooklyn Nets. So I think all of us, can agree. We would probably pick Bam, who is player A. But, yeah, Michael Porter Jr. is having a great year. But, yeah, I mean, I think we both know the difference between Michael Porter Jr. and Bam Adebayo. Those are empty stats. So I would take Bam Adebayo. The reason why I picked these two players isn't because I'm comparing the two. It's just purely about the numbers. I knew I would trick you guys, and most of you guys would pick the guy with a higher point per game. I'm happy. You guys made the right decision in picking B. Somebody in the TikTok said, and you said nothing about defense. What do you want me to play? He runs a mile a game. What do you want me to do? Somebody in the TikTok said use estimated field goal percentage, not field goal percentage. That's too skewed. No. No, I'm not doing that. No. No. I'm doing field goal percentage. It's the most generic statistic, the most useful statistic in the NBA. So, yeah, the reason why I did that is to trick you guys up. Oh, it's effective field goal. Cool. The reason I did that is to trick you guys up, and I'm happy I did. Most of you guys picked Michael Porter Jr. I think we're all going to agree that Bam Adebayo is the better player. Guys, lock in for the next one. TikTok, if you guys want to see the screen, because I'm only going to say it once, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. Link in my bio, JZ Uncut on Twitch. Guys, would you rather have player A or player B? They get more and more interesting, ladies and gentlemen. They get more and more interesting. Would you rather player A, who's averaging 26.7 points per game, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 47.7 from field goal, and 35.5% from 3? Or player B, who's averaging 22.8 points per game, 8.4 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game, 46% from the field, and 31.5% from 3. So player A averages four more points a game. He averages 1.5 less rebounds. He averages three less assists, but he shoots 1% better from the field and 4% better from 3. So who would you guys rather have? Player A or player B? If you guys want me to repeat it, just come through to the Twitch stream. It is on the screen right now on the Twitch. Wrath, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch, baby. I appreciate you very much. It's a much better viewing experience over here, y'all. It's a much better viewing experience over here in the Twitch stream. I appreciate y'all. So let's continue with this. I'm seeing a lot of player A's. I see 2 B's. I see 3 B's. Ooh, 4 B's. Okay. I wanted to trick you guys again. This is the last time I'm going to try tricking you guys. All right. This is the last time. I really like these responses. Ladies and gentlemen, player B is none other than Paolo Banchero this season. Paolo Banchero, currently, I think the 8th seed in the East. I think they jumped back up to 8th. Yeah. Player B is Paolo Banchero. Player 1, I don't think any of you guys even know who I'm talking about. Who do y'all think player A is? I don't think anybody can truly guess it. I don't think y'all know, man. I don't think y'all know who player A is. He's from this season, just so we're all clear. He's averaging 27 a game, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, damn near 50% from the field, and 35.5% from 3. It's not Norman Powell. It's not Gabe Vincent. It's not Jaylen Brown. No, it's not. It's not. Denny? No, it's not Denny. It's not Donovan Mitchell. No. In fact, he's not even the same skin pigment as everyone's saying. No, he's not Wemby. It is Lauri Markkanen. 7'1" power forward from the Utah Jazz. That's right. This season, he's averaging 27 points, 7 rebounds, over 2 assists, a steal, half a block, in 34 minutes. People are asking me how many games has he played? 42. 42. Not bad. 42. Come on, y'all. 42 games is not bad. I know everybody expected it to be like 20 games. That's 42 games, man. He would play way more. He would play way more. TikTok, I don't care. I'm not even reading your guys' comments, bro. I'm reading the Twitch comments. I don't care if you guys can see it. Okay. So, Lauri Markkanen, man. Lauri Markkanen. Yeah, they're pretty empty stats. I mean, I'm taking Paolo every day of the week over Lauri Markkanen. Let's not be silly here. Let's not be silly here. Okay? Just like, yeah, MPJ, I'm taking well, it depends who your team is. It depends who your team is, because I would rather have Lauri Markkanen on my Pistons team than I would Paolo on my Pistons team. So it depends like what your team needs. You know what I mean? It truly depends what your team needs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Lowry for the Pistons. But from like I'd say 90% of the other NBA teams, I'm rolling with Paolo for any other team. You know what I'm saying? Kaj, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it very, very much. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying the stream and you guys want the stats on your screen at the whole time, be sure to swing on into the Twitch. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. It's a much better viewing experience over here on the Twitch stream. It's where I read every single message, unlike the TikTok. I appreciate everybody in the TikTok the same, but it's a much better viewing experience and listening experience over here in the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio, JZ Uncut. Here we go, guys. This is the last player comparison. This is the last player comparison, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Would you rather, and I put more stats on here, would you rather player A or player B? Player A averaged 25 points per game, 4 rebounds, 7.7 assists, 1 steal, less than half a block, shooting 44% from the field and 33% from 3. Player B is averaging the same amount of points, 25 points per game, more rebounds, 5.6 rebounds per game, more assists with 10 assists per game, 1.5 steals, more steals, 1 block, more blocks, shooting better field goal percentage at 46.2%, and is shooting better from 3 at 35%. Player A or player B? I am not tricking you when I say this. I am not tricking you. This should be a very fair comparison. This is not a trick, okay? This is not a trick. Would you rather a 25, 4, 7.5, 1.4, shooting 44% from the field and 33% from 3? Or would you rather player B, who's averaging 25 points, 5.5 rebounds, 10 assists, 1.5 steals, 1 block, 46% from the field and 35% from 3? Who would you rather have? So I think most of you guys have been guessing it. Most of you guys have been saying player B as well. Player B is none other than Cade Parker Cunningham this season. That's Cade Parker Cunningham. Guys, player A is Derrick Rose from his MVP season. That is Derrick Rose from his MVP season. This was a little curveball that I threw you. You guys were probably expecting it was a current NBA player. This is Derrick Rose when he won the youngest MVP in league history. This is Cade Cunningham, not even in the top 5 of people's MVP candidacy after leading the Pistons to the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, versus Derrick Rose, who won the MVP of that season. So, Jaden said, okay, but Cade not averaging 25 and 10 in that pacing, though. Come on. I think Cade would arguably do better than Derrick Rose in that era. Cade Cunningham was a big guard. Who was guarding big guards at that point? Can Cade do back scratchers, though? I don't know. So, yeah. That is my final player comparison. Now, this one is not a player comparison. See, you're saying the Rose season was insane. But this is just another season for Cade Cunningham, just rising to the top. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, my man Cade has never beat a woman. You know what I'm saying? Or no, he didn't beat a woman. He just, I don't want to say it because I'll get banned on TikTok. So Cade's got that on. He's a girl dad. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is my final Would You Rather. And Cade's only 24, Cash. Cade is only 24 years old, so you can't tell me. I'm never gonna root for somebody that does some shit like that to a woman. Ever. You guys know me. I don't talk about Miles Bridges. I don't talk about Derrick Rose like that. I don't really talk about Kobe like that. If we're talking hoops, I'll talk hoops. Plus, Derrick Rose, fuck that guy. He ignored me when I met him in person. He ignored me, bro. I saw him at Somerset Mall in Metro Detroit when he was on the Pistons. And I said, yo, D-Rose, can I get a picture? And he looks at me and just keeps walking. And I'm standing right I'm literally right behind him on the fucking escalator, and he just fucking ignored me. But yeah, Derrick Rose was a great hooper. Not a great person, though. No, Kobe was a great hooper as well. He had his flaws. They all do. They all do. Cade would never do that. Cade autographed both my jerseys. Both of them. All right, guys, my final would you rather. And I hope nobody thinks like any which way about me saying this shit about these players. Because at the end of the day, like, if it's strictly basketball, I'm down to talk strictly basketball. But of course, I can't root for like Miles Bridges, for example. I can't root for that. Jackson Hayes, I can't root for that. You know, if the worst thing Cade Cunningham has ever done was go live on Instagram, what? How is that even an excuse? How is that even an excuse? What? Huh? Okay, guys, my final would you rather. My final would you rather. Okay? Would you rather, now pay attention. Would you rather guarantee one chip for your team over 2 decades? So over the next 20 years, you can only win once. Or be a legit contender for 6 years for all 6 of those chances being a chance of a title. Would you guarantee one chip for the next 20 years or be a legit contender? Now, legit contender is a top 2 team in the NBA. So you're looking at like the Thunder, the Celtics, right? For 6 years. And you have multiple chances of a title. What would you guys rather? Me, I would rather have 6 years of multiple chances of a title. That's what I would rather. I would rather be a contender. I'm looking at the Pistons from the early 2000s when they went to the conference finals 6 years in a row and only made it out with 1 championship. That could happen. You know, you could lose in the conference finals, you know. The Pistons only made the finals twice in the 2000s, but they made 6 conference finals in a row and they only made it out with 1. So yeah, would you rather that? Because I would rather, because like if you're a contender for 6 years, that means at the end of those 6 years, you're probably going to rebuild. You know what I mean? So you have 6 years of relevancy. You have 6 years at trying to win and looking good to win. I would rather that than pick 1 chip. Me personally. I respect that, Leak. How good? A contender is a top 2 team in the NBA. We're not talking about a playoff contender. We're talking about a championship contending team. I like these responses, y'all. I like these responses. You guys are great, giving some great examples. 1 chip, how do you not want that? I would rather be a contender for 6 years. Because 1 chip, then we're going to be ass until I'm 48. Why would I want that? Why would I want that? I get to watch us play good for 1 year and then we're ass for the next 19 years. Why would I want that? I'm going to be 48 watching Killian Hayes Jr. on my Pistons team. Why the hell would I want that? I would rather be a contender for 6 years and just rebuild after that. Chief Lou is telling me, so you'd rather be a loser. How is being a legit contender for 6 years for multiple chances a loser? Wait, how is that? I think you're misunderstanding the would you rather, Chief Lou. I think you're misunderstanding it. You're not going to lose in the finals every time or the conference finals every time. You have 6 chances at winning. I don't think you're understanding this. Yes, you can win, of course. You could also lose all 6. You could, but you have a chance at winning 6 and then not being ass for 20 years. No, you're not guaranteed to lose. You have chance at contending for 6 years. I thought you're just being weird to be weird. I don't know. So let me just get this straight one more time, okay? You get 1 chip. You win this year. You are ass for the next 19 years, okay? Or you have a legit chance at winning the title this year all the way through 2032. You have a chance at winning, and you could win all 6, or you could lose all 6, or you could win 3 and lose 3. You know what I'm saying? You could start a dynasty, and then at the end of those 6 years, whoever you have, if like, let's just say it's the Thunder, they have Shea, Chet, and J-Dub, you have to blow it up and then rebuild. That's it. So you could genuinely be back where you left off in 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you could win 1, you could win 2, you could win 3, you can win all 6. You can do some Jordan shit, or you can't win anything. No. That's why I said for multiple chances of a title. That's why I thought I worded it well, because it's like you have multiple chances at winning, you know? That's what I figured. Exactly. And you get to enjoy your team playing good basketball for 6 years. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for today's podcast. I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed. I know Friday streams are always the most quietest streams. I know you could go 0 for 6. I know Fridays are always our quietest streams, but I do want to say thank you to everybody tuning in. It genuinely means a lot. Let's go over the games that we have tonight. Oh, stud of the night. That's right. Stud of the night, I'm giving it to Jalen Duren. 30 points. Let me go over the stat line one more time. I'm giving it to Jalen Duren. I don't think anybody had a better individual game last night. 30 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He was 10 for 12 from the field and 10 for 12 from the free throw line. It was either him or Conca Nips. And I'm rolling with Jalen Duren, bro. 30 points in 31 minutes, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 10 for 12 from the field and 10 for 12 from the free throw line. I gotta give it to Jalen Duren, bro. I gotta give it to him. Otherwise, it would have been Conca Nips. But I've never given it to Jalen Duren before, and I've given it to Conca Nipple before. So I figured, you know, let me give Jalen Duren some love. Now, for tonight's games, we have the Clippers, Pacers. We have the Heat, Cavaliers. It's a little baseball series where they play each other back to back. The Heat won the last game against the Cavs 2 days ago. So the Cavs are on the second night of a back-to-back, so it should be interesting. At 7:30, we have the Hawks visiting the Celtics. That should be a good game. The Bulls visiting the Thunder. Rockets visiting the Grizzlies. Pelicans visiting the Raptors. Damn, Pelicans got a back-to-back. Sorry, Leamy. Jazz visiting the Nuggets. Wizards visiting the Warriors. God, that's the worst game of the night. Mavericks visiting the Trailblazers, and then the Nets visiting the Lakers. We got some good NBA basketball this weekend, y'all. We got the Cadeless Pistons against potentially the Anthony Edwards-less Timberwolves. So that's going to be a dogfight between Jalen Duren and Julius Randle. That's the only good game for Saturday. Damn, that sucks. That's the only good game, and that's not even a good game because they're missing Cade and Ant. Damn, that sucks. Do we have any good games on Sunday? Knicks Thunder. Yeah. We got Knicks Thunder on Sunday at 7:30. Oh, I'm locked into my TV. I am locked into my TV. Locked in it. Locked in. All right. Should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's all I got for y'all today, man. That's all I got for y'all today. All right. TikTok, we're still live on Twitch, so be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio, ladies and gentlemen. We are still going to remain live on Twitch. So if you guys want more stream, be sure to come through to the Twitch. And I'm sure you guys are wondering what the benefit is of watching on Twitch. If you watch for 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription out of my own pocket. That's right. So be sure to come through to the Twitch and start your streak now. Be sure to join the Discord once you're in our Twitch stream as well. ! Discord. Join our community where we talk off stream all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's all I got for y'all today. Except, damn it, I messed up my saying. I got nothing left to say, y'all, except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching / listening. And I will see you guys Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Shout out to you guys coming through to the Twitch stream right now. I appreciate y'all. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy some hoops. And I'll see y'all Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Love y'all.